This course is dedicated to discussions surrounding safety. Some topics include dangers of working within utility industries and safety culture. In the first module, we'll be talking about safety and its history, and we'll see how we can play a role in enhancing it. Let's face it, at the end of the day, we all want to live and work in environments in which we feel safe. An ideal workplace is an environment in which you feel safe and you are able to maximize your productivity. On completion of this course, you will be able to recognize danger, recall the history of safety, state safety aspects in the workplace, discuss how to control your own safety on the job, and identify necessary precautions for issues in specific industries. There is always a risk of electrical hazards at home or on the job when working with power tools or on electrical circuits. Utility workers have a greater risk. They are exposed to more hazards, especially electrical hazards on the job, due to use of a variety of tools and machinery, dynamic outdoor weather conditions, varying levels of experience, and other factors not common in home settings. Energy and electrical trade workers encounter a variety of occupational hazards due to the nature of their work. Although many of these occupational hazards are specific to electrical trade, electricity is the most common source of occupational fatalities and serious injuries. Electrical trade workers must pay special attention to electrical hazards to prevent injury and maintain a safe working environment. Contact with electrical voltage can cause current to flow through the body, resulting in electrical shock, burns, or even death. It is not uncommon for people in society to use electricity without much regard for safety. Because electricity is a familiar, convenient part of our lives, it is not always treated with enough caution. As a result, on average, one person is electrocuted on the job every day of every year. What have we done to address these conditions? Let's consider the history surrounding raising awareness to hazardous conditions. In 1903, the U.S. Bureau of Labor began publishing studies of occupational fatalities and illnesses in certain trades, as well as other in safety health topics. In 1912, the Bureau released a study of industrial accidents in the iron and steel industries, in addition to a survey of safety and health conditions in the American workplace. During the 1960s, occupational injuries and illnesses were increasing in number and severity. Disabling injuries increased 20% throughout the 60s, and approximately 14,000 workers died on the job annually. Amongst an increased public uproar against this rising injury and death rates on the job, the government recognized the need to create a national safety regulatory agency. After nearly a century of efforts by government to mitigate the vulnerabilities of employees exposed to workplace hazards, President Richard Nixon signed the Occupational Safety and Health Act, otherwise known as OSHA, into law on December 29, 1970. The OSHA Act of 1970 is the most important factor of why today's workplace is much safer than those prior to its being signed into law. Since the inception of OSHA, overall workplace fatalities have been cut by more than 60%, and incidence rates of occupational injury and illness have declined by 40%. Although dramatic advances in health and safety have been established through local, state, and federal regulations, there are still thousands of work-related fatalities and life-altering injuries annually. We must continue to reinforce the need for safer environments, and you can be a contributor to the field.